Man, his performance told me that he's the Grinch. Because he done stole Christmas from 49ers fans, big dog. Like, Jimmy Garoppolo, how you going to come out here and steal Christmas? You have a phenomenal football team. You have every piece you need to make a deep run in the playoffs. Every piece the Niners need is there, except the piece at quarterback. I don't know about y'all. I have been in this situation. Let me know if y'all have as well. So, you know, you're trying to put a puzzle together, right? You're trying to put
How many pieces, though?
200. My max. Big
I'm about to say.
My max.
That's up there.
200-piece puzzle.
Like
when you're trying to put a puzzle together and all the pieces, and all of a sudden you start getting mad at your partner, whoever the case it may be, like, hey, man, where this last piece? You leave it in the cushion of the couch? Where this last piece? And then you find out the piece is sitting on your lap. And it's your fault. Because you were holding the missing piece to solving the puzzle. That is Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is holding the missing piece to solving the 49ers puzzle of winning another Super Bowl. The piece is not hidden in the cushions of the receiver position. The piece is not hidden even in the secondary. Don't say that. The piece is Jimmy G. I understand other positions could be better.
I'm about to say
but
rookie.
Jimmy G is a position group, owns a position group that can cover a multitude and a variety of sins. Jimmy Garoppolo is to the 49ers who Jared Goff was to the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, my. You going to take him to the Super Bowl?
You can get there with them because he already did, and he had. They both lost. But realistically speaking, you understand that one piece is holding back the team. And that piece is quarterback. Nick Wright came on the herd earlier with Joy Taylor. Shout out to her for hosting today. He came on the show earlier and said that just because you have an option doesn't mean it's a good option, right? Jimmy G is the 49ers option, but that doesn't necessarily make him a good option. Just because Jimmy G is better than most does not mean he's good enough to get it done. And what I watched and what Jimmy G's performance told me, Sel, was he's just not good enough to get the job done.
Golly, it's so crazy doing this job. You could come in, think you're going to be on the railroad tracks, keep the train moving, woo, woo, got it written down, know what I'm going to say, Jimmy G, Jimmy. And then you throw a curveball at me, and I'm like, wait a minute. And then try to grab other people out there. Try to grab Nick Wright. Try to shout out to Joy Taylor like you're a rapper. What you shouting her out for? You just saw her. Man, I ain't gonna let you get away with this Jimmy G slander, but first let me make my point that echoes yours. Damn, Jimmy G, man, you're not great enough to not be good. And people gotta understand that. Because, Acho, you say this in so many ways. You say it's not about the teams you can beat, it's the teams you won't lose to.
Yes, sir.
Jimmy G, you got to know who you are. Know what type of student you are.
Yes, sir.
You're a B- student. Like, you're going to be above average, and you got some things that shows flashes of brilliance. But when you dig yourself a hole, let's just say you're not the one to dig yourself out of that same hole, right? He's not great enough. As much as I love Jimmy G, I keep it 100. He reminds me of teammates that I used to play with on the defensive line. I say no names because I had my highs and I had my lows, but they had a lot more lows. Let's talk about these teammates. I hated them in the game because, dog, there were moments where whoever was in front of me, Lincoln Kennedy, Jonathan Ogden, Walter Jones, Orlando Pace. No wonder I didn't make the Hall of Fame. I had the era of tackles. But look, I had to go against him. I felt good. I was like, I could beat this dude. Now, not a lot, and I hope when I do beat him, the quarterback still has the ball. But the point is, I could beat them at moments. But I had teammates who had whoever was in front of them who knew they couldn't beat them. So guess what they always want to do every time? This is going to get back to Jimmy G. Hey, Wiley, T.E., Wiley, E.T., now, for y'all at home don't know what that means, that's some begging-ass teammate saying, let's run a stunt. Let's run a stunt. I like, run a stunt? I don't want to run a stunt.
I don't need no stunt.
I don't need no stunt. I don't need no theatrics. I don't need to go pin someone and hold the tackle and guards. I don't need that. Just let me be. I swear them 49er players sitting around there, it's like, hey, Jimmy G, we don't need to do nothing else but let you just play adequate quarterback. But you over there, hey, y'all, help me out. Help me out. And that's a problem. Now, that said, A.J. Brown, how many catches he have on Jimmy G? Yeah. Okay, defense. Remember in the Super Bowl when they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in the fourth quarter, and everybody was like, Patrick Mahomes. And come on, Jimmy G, you missed the one play. You could have easily hit the wide receiver, Emmanuel Sanders. And defense, what y'all do in that fourth quarter? Defense, last night, what y'all do to the Tennessee Titans minus Derrick Henry? Now, you lose a game 20-17, obviously you're going to look at your offense and say, all y'all gave us was 17. But then you also look at this defense that you said everything is there except what? The quarterback? That quarterback has some words for other parts of this team. So let's not pin this all on Jimmy G. You said we got everything we need except. We were talking about Jimmy G, not Baker Mayfield. Similar situations, right? Jimmy G, 7th in passer rating. 7th in completion percentage. Leads the league in passing yards per attempt. 12th in passing yards per game. Jimmy G in this run-happy system? Jimmy G was balling before this moment. Now, his balling is relative. It ain't Tom Brady, it ain't Aaron Rodgers balling, but it's still balling. What needs to happen for these 49ers is they need to have the mindset that they're forced to have right now, which is back against the wall, Jimmy G included. But last night, his performance told me, oh, he'll dig himself a hole, and he's not going to be great enough to dig himself out of that hole. So, Jimmy G, you got to stay consistently good because you're not great enough to not be good.
That's perfect. Perfectly said. I think that Jimmy G, he's low risk and low reward. That's who he is as a quarterback.
Good point.
He's a low risk, low reward quarterback. You can win with that. The problem is if a low reward quarterback ever takes a risk and does not succeed, a la throws a pick in the end zone, throws a pick high on a dig, then all of a sudden he cannot overcompensate because, again, he is low reward. So the reason I was so frustrated with Jimmy G last night is because 14 was the magic number. You score 14 points against the Titans, you were going to win the football game. Titans offense has not scored over 14 points in the last 4 games against teams not named the Jags. And even against the Jags, they only scored 20 points. So if you scored 14 points against this Titans team, you were going to get the job done. Jimmy G, you go up 7-0. You have the chance to go up 14-0.
I got you.
You have the chance to go up 14-0, and then you throw a pick right there in the end zone. Next thing you know, it's only 10-0. Next thing you know, it's 10-3. Next thing you know, it's 10-10. Next thing you know, you're done. Why is 14 that magic number? Because if you go up 14-0 against a team with Ryan Tannehill at quarterback and Ryan Tannehill's worst year in the last 3 years, not necessarily a totally down year, but Tannehill's worst year in the last 3 years, they are not built to come back. That's not what the Titans are built to do. But if Mike Vrabel looks up and he just sees 10-0 on the scoreboard, that's just a little possession there and a little field goal there. It's nothing. You see 14-0 on the scoreboard, it just means something. Take it from 2 people that have been on a sideline before. So 14 was the magic number. You go up 14-0, it was a wrap. And Jimmy G, you couldn't even do that. We rarely ever can say that one player lost the game. You know this. 22 players on the field at a time, 53 on a roster. It's not just one play. Coaches say that all the time. That's a lie.
Hell yeah.
One of the greatest lies a coach will ever tell you all is that one play and one player did not lose a game.
Yeah.
One play and one player lost a game yesterday. It was Jimmy Garoppolo.
He didn't mean it this
He threw 7. He threw away 7 points when he threw the pick in their end zone, Then he throws another pick, which leads to another 7 points. That's 14 points right there in a game where the opposing team only scored 20 and it was decided by 3. That's a 14-point swing. You gave away 7 and you sacrificed 7. It's a 14-point swing. I can rarely say one play and one player lost a game. But Jimmy G lost that game yesterday, Marcellus, Wiley. And if I'm a 49ers fan, I'm sick because I know I have to have him at quarterback, but I don't necessarily want him at quarterback.
See, now we got to disagree. Damn, we ain't got enough time to be really arguing up here, but let's do it. That was only Jimmy G's 3rd game throwing multiple picks, so let's not act like that's who he is typically for this team. Worst passer rating we've seen from him since week 7. There's 2 things I want to highlight. One, Jimmy G didn't lose the game by himself. I know what you're saying. Coaches lie about that all the time. But when they are telling the truth, it's really one play. Scott Norwood missing the field goal in the Super Bowl. You make that field goal, we win. You know that, right? No time. That's that. You can't say you lost us the game and then we have equations with it. There's no equation when you just missed the kick and we lost it. There's no equation when you in Music City Miracle. Hey, dog, who got contained? Who's man?
Who did have contained?
I'm not going to say his name on here. I think it's Sam Rogers, my boy. Here we go. I don't know. I got to watch it again for the 900th time. But let me see this. Let me give you my last point before we get out of here. What lost him the game was a moment. And Jimmy G was a part of that moment, throwing that second pick in the second play of the second half. You know what? First play of the second half, I should say. Why? The timing. Bill Belichick mastered something that we all saw but never took notice and never acknowledged. That the series before the half and the series after the half are the most important series in terms of like your mentality, mental makeup. And Bill Belichick robs teams 14-point swings all the time just because he's like that last drive and the one coming out, right? Jimmy G, when you're coming out the locker room, you got to know what your team is. You got to know your personnel. You got to know where their psychology is. You got to know where the mindset is. We're up 10. We got a team that's already wounded, undermanned. Let's just get rid of them. Let's not give them any motivation, anything to fight for. And Jimmy G threw that pick. To me, that was a moment, but I still don't think that's a Scott Norwood moment for them because they gave up 20 to the Tennessee Titans. You said it was 14 was the number. Defense got to look in the mirror as well.